Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Edupedia world. And I am Abhinay Gupta. So, today again we are continuing with the standards on auditing, right? And the specific standard under consideration for today's lecture would be SA 570, the going concern, right? So, again, when you come across this word of going concern, what is the first thing that strikes your mind? If you have already completed your financial reporting, or even if you have been through certain standards, I'm sure you have been through AS1, Accounting Standard 1, right? Which talks about the disclosure of the accounting principles. Over there, you have heard about the term going concern, that the entity always prepares its financial statement on the going concern assumption. That is the basic assumption, right? And there is one specific situation when you do not prepare it on going concern assumption. It is when you plan to liquidate the company, right? Then you record everything on the realizable value basis. So that is a different issue altogether. Or all that you need to understand is what is the concept of going concern, right? So this standard on auditing of SA 570 also deals with the same concept of going concern. As per the AS1 and as per SA 570, the management has to prepare the financial statement with the going concern assumption, right? So let us get into detail and understand what going concern has to say, or the standard SA 570 has to say about going concern. Because in Accounting Standard 1, you just read two statements about going concern. That yeah, this is the basic assumption that you follow, and going concern means that the company will be able to continue its operating activities for a foreseeable future. That is it, right? But over here we'll talk about the procedures. Okay, we know that you will prepare the accounts on going concern basis, but going concern is a big issue. It's a big topic. How does the auditor identify? How will you ensure that yeah, they are on a going concern basis and that they have prepared it on a going concern assumption? And there are a lot of things to consider, right? We'll see each one of them when we are doing the standard in detail, right? To start with, first, the one thing we need to understand is that by this standard, we are aiming on the auditor to understand, right, that the management has appropriately used the going concern assumption, right? The auditor's basic work as per this standard is to get an understanding, right? Obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to check the appropriateness of the use, right? Is there a situation that the management was supposed to prepare it on liquidation basis, still they have prepared it on going concern assumption basis? That would be wrong. That would be misstatement, right? So let us see what is the objective of this standard. Basically, the objective of SA 570 is to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence about management's appropriateness of the use of the going concern assumption, right? Second, to conclude whether a material uncertainty exists relating to any event or any condition that may cast significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue as a going concern, and determine the implication on the auditor's report. That means, first of all, when you have the audit report with you, when you have the financial statement with you, when you know that the financial statement is prepared on a going concern basis, that is when you apply this essay. Because if the financial statement is not prepared on the going concern assumption basis and it is prepared on the liquidation basis, then this SA will not be applicable. It is only applicable when the financial statement is prepared on a going concern assumption basis. So first of all, you will have to obtain audit evidences, sufficient and appropriate audit evidences, that yes, if they have used this assumption, then it was appropriate as per the situation to use this assumption. That there is no certain condition that exists that indicates the liquidation of the company, or that indicates that the company will not be able to continue its operating business for a foreseeable future. Now, what do we mean by foreseeable future? We have used that word already twice or thrice in this lecture so far. So basically, what is foreseeable future? So the standard, accounting standard, auditing standard, they say that foreseeable future basically means a period of minimum 12 months. So when you're preparing a financial statement on 31st March and you say that we are using the going concern assumption, that means you are less assured that yes, the company will continue for at least 12 more months. That means we will have another financial statement. So if you are taking any decision, you can take a decision on this financial statement for the next 1 year at least. That can be, the assumption can be for more than 12 months also, but a minimum, if you are assuming a foreseeable future, then that future means a minimum period of 12 months. Right? Now you will also have to see whether there is uncertainty. Any such condition has occurred, any such event has taken place. Right? For example, your company is a manufacturing entity, right? And they employ child labor. And they say, no, it's all right. We have been working with child labor for the past 20 years. There's no issue with any regulation so far. Yeah, they say that child labor is banned, but nobody has disturbed us so far, and we are continuing for the past 20 years. Yeah, come on. And we'll continue again in the foreseeable future. But do you think that is the correct assumption of the company? What if this year somebody comes to know about it? Otherwise also, ethically it is not right. So you should not be supporting the company with that. You should not be allowing the company to employ child labor. You'll tell the management, no, that is wrong. Please do not use child labor. You get labor cheaply available otherwise also. Let the student go. That's time for them to study. Management says, no. We are okay with it. You continue with your job. And that is an event, or that is a condition that shows a material uncertainty on the existence of the business. Because any fine day, the government can come up to the company and shut it down. The management will be pushed to the jail because they have been employing child labor, which is banned in our country. Right? So their practice is not ethical. They are not following the law, they are not following the regulations. So it's a risk. So you cannot assume the going concern assumption in this case. That was an example, right? So you have to conclude whether a material uncertainty occurs relating to any event or any condition, right? That may cast significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue. Nothing has happened so far. I'm not saying that the legal authorities have come up to you and saying that no, you need to shut down the company. Nothing has happened so far. But there is a significant doubt on the ability. But if they come, then you are gone for a toss. Right? And accordingly, you will determine that implication on the auditor's report. That the company is although preparing the financial statement on going concern basis, but we do not agree to that. So we will not check this financial statement. So you will modify your report if you are giving any. Right? That is the basic objective of this standard. Further, if we talk about the scope of this standard, the standard covers basically three things. One is, what is the going concern assumption? Second, what is the responsibility of the management? And third, what is the responsibility of the auditors? These are the three basic considerations that you will cover in this lecture, in this standard. That is the scope of the standard. You will have to check in detail the going concern assumption. We have to deal with the responsibilities of management and the responsibilities of the auditor. Right? So what do you mean by the going concern assumption? Now if we actually go with the textual meaning of it, because when you write down in your examination, you will have to use the words of the text, the words of the statute. So there are certain words that you will have to use in your answer, like the foreseeable future. You'll say that if we are talking about the going concern assumption, it means that an entity is viewed as continuing the business for a foreseeable future. Do not specify the period, not necessary that you specify it as 12 months or 14 months or 18 months, whatever it is. But you will have to write the word foreseeable future. That is a minimum period of 1 year. Right? And that when you are preparing your general purpose financial statement, general purpose I'm talking about, right? It is not for your tax purpose or any other loan purpose. You are preparing general purpose financial statement, right? Then you will prepare it on the going concern assumption. That is a must. That is a requirement of accounting standard 1, right? But you will prepare it only if the management does not intend to liquidate the company, or only if there is no situation, no condition or event that would force the company to liquidate within the period of 1 year. If you think that the company will continue for more than 1 year, prepare it on the going concern assumption. Right? And when you're using the going concern assumption, the basic thing you understand is that, okay, if you have liabilities and assets in your balance sheet, right, then you will be able to realize those assets, you will be able to fetch the benefit out of the asset. If you have machineries, you will make use of the machineries. If you have debtors, you will recover those debtors. If you have stock, you will sell those stocks, right? So you will basically realize that asset. And if you have liabilities, you will discharge those liabilities. You have the capability to do so, right? And that too in the normal course of business. That is the concept of the going concern assumption, right? Now if we talk about the responsibility of the management and the responsibility of the auditor, so basically the management's responsibility is to ascertain the entity's ability to continue as a going concern. That may not be required in any of the statute or any of the legal requirement, but management has to every year ascertain and access, right? They have to assess the entity's ability to continue as a going concern, and then prepare the financial statements on the basis of going concern. And in any situation, if they do not prepare it on the going concern assumption, then they will have to disclose that fact, right? That is basically the responsibility of the management. And if we come down to the auditors, then they will have to attain the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to judge whether the management's application of the going concern assumption is correct. They will have to see whether the procedures that the management has followed in order to assess that yes, the company can continue for the foreseeable future, then those assumptions taken by the management are correct. That is what the auditor has to ensure. And he also has to check whether there is any material uncertainty. Is there a situation that says that the entity will not be able to continue as a going concern? If there is some, then he has to consider the impact of the same, right? So basically that is the entire scope, that the management has to evaluate the going concern and then apply going concern if it is applicable, or prepare it on the liquidation basis. An auditor has to assess whether that assumption of the management is correct by following his own procedures, right? That is the scope of this standard. Next we would see the requirement of this standard, right? So the first requirement is the risk assessment procedure and the related activity. So the auditor is required to follow or abide by the risk assessment procedures. He will have to assess the risk, right? And then he will also have to follow the related activities. Now what does this mean basically? That if the auditor does not include in his report anything against the going concern assumption, that does not mean that the auditor is guaranteeing that the entity would continue for the foreseeable future. That means that yes, auditor has to remain alert throughout the audit whether there is any event of uncertainty on the going concern. The auditor will also evaluate the procedures that the management has followed for evaluating the going concern assumption, right? And if the auditor does not find any risk, he may not doubt the situation and he may not report on the same. But that is not a guarantee, right? Because we have inherent limitations of audit. There is not everything that we can check. There is not everything that we can assure. But management has this responsibility that they prepare the financial statement on the going concern assumption if they feel and if they know that they can continue it for the foreseeable future. That is the responsibility of the management. So if the auditor is not able to trace that there is some fault, although he will have to prove that yes, I have followed all the procedures to assess the risk, right? I have been alert throughout, I did not find any condition like that. Auditor is safe on that end, but that will never be a guarantee that it will continue, right? Next, if you understand then evaluating management's assessment, how do you evaluate the assessment that the management has made while determining the going concern assumption? So if the auditor needs to test whether the management has applied this assumption appropriately or not, right, then for that the basic period of consideration for the auditor has to be the same that the management has considered. That means if the management says that we'll continue for the next 18 months, auditor will also check for the next 18 months. But minimum checking would be for the 12 months. The management cannot say that we'll continue for the next 10 months. No. When we talk about foreseeable future, make sure that the management also ensures that they can continue for the next 12 months for the minimum. An auditor will also check for the next 12 months minimum. But if management confirms or says that we'll continue for the period of 18 months for sure, then the auditor will also cover the same period, right? And he will also consider all the relevant information that comes on his way so as to make this judgment. He has to be alert throughout the audit, and whatever relevant information is available, he will form his decision based on those information, right? Next, the auditor will also inquire the management, right, for any event or condition that is beyond the period of the assessment by the management. And he'll ask that, do you know if there is anything that exists, there is anything that has a doubt on the going concern assumption? If there is anything you know, please let us know, right? So if the management says that, yeah, we will continue for the next 2 years for sure, that is the assumption that the management has made, then you will ask, what beyond 2 years? Is there any condition that says that you will not be able to continue? Are you doubtful about something? If yes, let us know, right? So he will also evaluate the period beyond the management's assessment, right? So these up to here we have seen all the procedure that, okay, you made it, we'll check it, how is it, we'll inquire from you and everything, okay, and we assume nothing has been found. But what if auditor comes across certain situation, certain event, certain condition that would raise a doubt on the going concern assumption? If auditor identifies something like that, then what is he supposed to do? That means if auditor comes across any event or condition which may cast significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue as a going concern for the foreseeable future, then what should the auditor do? Auditor will basically request the management to make an assessment, to please reassess your ability to continue as a going concern, because we have come across certain situations or certain circumstance that says that, okay, there is a probability, there is a chance that you may not be able to continue. If this occurs, if this event occurs, for example, if you're talking about that Labor Act, if that event occurs, you are not able to continue, please reassess your ability to continue as a going concern, right? Then what will the management do? Management will prepare a plan of how does it reassess, how will it, a plan for the future course of action of the management. What does the auditor need to do over there is to assess that plan of the management, is to assess that whatever the management is deciding to do, whatever the management is planning to do, to take the step, is it correct? Will it give a conclusion? And will it give a required conclusion, right? That is what you need to assess. And if the entity has made any cash flow forecast, that, yeah, within the next 2 years or 3 years we have these things, right? Or suppose if, let us take an example, the company is not able to perform, right? It does not have sufficient funds with it. There's a lot of liability, lot of creditors standing up, less of debtors, and there are some debtors who the company thinks will not be able to pay, right? So the company thinks now we are going sort of fund, or there was certain situation for which the company had to employ a lot of fund, there was some litigation going on, and the opponent won that case, and as a result the company had to pay a compensation for 2 crores, for example. What happened? The company lost its liquidity position. Now there is a liquidity crunch. But then the company comes and says, no, we have talked to the director's wife, she will give us 50 lakh, and there are certain creditors who are ready to pay off or leave their credits, the liabilities, and for the remaining they'll take shares. And we also have spoken to few investors who are ready to fund us with rupees 2 crores. So we will regain that amount and we'll have surplus amount to run our company comfortably. So all the deficit that we have will be taken over with, right? So we have already found out those ways, and hence we decide we'll be able to continue as a going concern. So that is the cash flow estimate, cash flow forecast that the company is making, that, yeah, the MD's wife will give us something, those investors are willing to give us something. So you will have to consider the reliability. Did the MD's wife give you something in writing? Is there an agreement? No. Did the investor give you something in writing? Is there an agreement? No. Then how are you sure that they will give it to you? You cannot be so sure, right? So auditor will have to determine the reliability on the statement. But okay, if they have a forecast of cash flow, is it reliable? Will they be able to actually gain that money? And okay, you made an assessment, right? And maybe you also have a contract. They're okay that so and so investor is the company, and they tell that they informed us and they have given it in written to us that they will fund us. They will give us a funding of 2 crores, and we have already received 50 lakhs, and they have the plan to disperse the next 1.5 crores in 50 lakhs each for the next 3 months. Okay, auditor will say okay, now I understand you have the reliability, right? They have given it to you in writing. But there was a condition that occurred, situation that occurred. What? Those investors, right, their management changed, and the new management who has come up, they'll say okay, we are not denying, we'll not give it to you, but let us at least look into the matter. Why are we giving you the funds? Let us take over the company, let us understand. So the amount that the company was supposed to receive is now delayed, and there may be a possibility that this management comes up with something new and then decide, no, we are not giving you the fund. The old management, they decided to give it to you, but the company's position is not so good to give you the funds. We are withdrawing. So what will happen? That is why you will have to consider whether there is any additional fact or information that has come up after the management has assessed that cash flow, right? And hence, in order to be secure on your end, you will ask the management or those charged with governance to give you a written representation, right? You will ask for a written representation regarding the plans for the future action, right? And then you will also check the feasibility of these plans. Are these plans genuine? Will it work? Is it a workable plan? Will it help the company to continue for the foreseeable future? You'll have to check those things, right? So when we talk about the additional audit procedures when events or conditions are identified, then these are it. You'll have to check, you'll have to discuss with the management, what are you doing? Is it like that? Management says yes, we have arrangement for that. You'll have to check whether those arrangements are reliable. You check, okay, yes. But if there is a certain situation that has occurred that brings a doubt on that reliability, you will again discuss. You will ask them, okay, do one thing, give me a written representation with your entire plan of action, and you will review whether that is sufficient to continue the company for the foreseeable future, right? So those are the additional audit procedures that you will undertake. Next, we need to talk about the auditor's conclusion and the reporting, right? So the auditor will basically check that if there are certain events that either individually or collectively, if they are taken together, they are material. They're material so as to cast a significant doubt on the entity's ability and the ability to continue as a going concern. Is there any event like that? That is the conclusion you're making, right? You have to report. So you'll have to check whether there are any material uncertainty, right? Then the material uncertainty, you will also check that whether it exists or whether the magnitude of the impact or the likelihood of the occurrence, that means the probability, is it very high? If it is high, that means there is a doubt that you will be able to continue as a going concern, because there is an event, right? An event that casts uncertainty, and the magnitude of that event is very high. That means the impact on you will be great. So will you be able to tackle it? Will you be able to balance your company when that impacts you? Because the likelihood of the occurrence of that event is very high. That means it will occur. Do you have backup for that? You will have to judge, and then accordingly you will conclude whether or not the assumption has been taken appropriately, and that is how you report it, right? So these are basically the 5 requirements that we have covered. We still have 5 other requirements to cover, but we'll take it up in the subsequent lecture, right? Because we have already discussed a lot in this lecture and you need to grasp it down, right? So if you understand what all we have studied in this lecture, is we have understood the going concern assumption. What is a going concern assumption? That they will continue for the foreseeable future, right? They have their intention and the ability to do so. What is the management's responsibility? To assess whether or not they will be able to do so, right? They will assess and they will plan, they will follow the procedures and come to a conclusion that yes, everything is working very well, we have the intention and we have the ability to do so. What will the auditor do? Auditor will assess whether the management has assessed the going concern assumption correctly. They will look out for the conditions and situations and think and decide whether or not the management has made a good assumption. That is the responsibility of the auditor, right, before issuing the report. That is the scope. Now if we talk about the requirement, number 1, risk assessment procedure and related activity. which says that the auditor is required to follow the risk assessment procedure. You will have to assess the risk, whether there are any events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue. Right? You will have to remain alert throughout your audit. Okay, there is nothing as such today, but if something comes up, you have to remain alert. Right? Now, when you are evaluating the management assessment, you will have to actually consider the same period. If management says 12 months, even you will have to cover the entire 12 months so as to be able to assess what management has thought and how are they planning to go ahead with it. Right? And all the relevant information that comes your way, you will have to take it into consideration for the same. What about period beyond management assessment? If management says we are able to continue for 2 years, what about the period beyond that? Do you have a doubt? Is there any event that would prove it? Is there any condition that would occur and that would impact your ability? Let us know. You will inquire the management about that. Right? And then you will follow the additional audit procedures. When you basically follow it, when you have certain events or conditions identified, you will request the management, please make an assessment. I think because that debtor is going down, or because that case, that litigation has landed against you, has been concluded against you, and you are paying such huge compensation to that person, you will be in a liquidity crisis. And as per the other situations of the company, there's a doubt that you will be able to continue. So you will ask the management to reassess whether you will be able to continue. And the management says, okay, we have plans, we are prepared for that, MD's wife is giving him money, promoters are giving him money, and you are saying, okay, your plan sounds good. Right? Then, are there any written documents for that? Are you sure they'll give it to you? You check the documents. And then if you are sure that, okay, what the management is telling, management has support for that, and proves that, yeah, they will occur, then you are satisfied for one instance. But then, you will also check if after the date of assessment, if there is any situation that would now raise a doubt on that procedure again, that maybe the money would not be coming, if there is something like that, you'll have to check the reliability of the cash flow forecast now. Right? If there is any additional fact that has occurred and that would cast a doubt, you will have to consider that as well. And then you will take a written representation from the management that, okay, you say that these things have happened, and then you are concluding that the company would be able to continue for the foreseeable future. Right? And then accordingly, you will give your conclusion and reporting. For that, you will have to consider that whether any event, either individually or in collaboration with other event, has doubt on your going concern assumption. You will check the likelihood of its occurrence. You will check the magnitude of how badly will it impact the company. Will the company be able to sustain it? These impacts you will consider for your reporting and for your conclusion. Right with that? So with that, we come to the end of the first part of the standard. We'll continue with the requirements, with other requirements, and with certain examples. Right? We'll see what are the events that may cast the doubt on the going concern assumption. All these things will be taken up in the next lecture. So until then, this is Abhinay Gupta signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.